This episode continues on the quest of making a sword fit for the ChronoBlade game by nWay. In the previous episode, I showed how the sword was forged and heat treated, and I'm picking up right where we left off. Here, I'm putting the sword in the kiln to be tempered. This reduces the hardness but increases its toughness. I am also using the tempering process to help straighten some warps that showed up after heat treating. I accomplished this by clamping the sword to a straight and very thick piece of steel. Unfortunately, that step was not sufficient to take out all the warps, and I'm left with one particularly tenacious warp in the middle of the sword. Here, you see a series of steps I'm trying to rectify the problem. The hydraulic press was probably a stupid idea. It's definitely not a safe thing to do. The problem is that after hardening, the steel does not want to move into a different configuration. Here I am hammering the sword while it is about 500 Fahrenheit hot. Eventually I was able to get it straight enough. Now it's time to work on the guards. I'm using mild steel and mark the dimensions where the sword is going to rest with the center punch. Oops, the center punch just flew away and the guard is off to an ominous start. I need to taper both ends, which helps draw the guard out in length. The center punch marks show me where to stop tapering. Once the rough shape has been finished, I will mark where the slot is going to go. Normally I would use a slot punch to split the steel in the middle, however in this case I want to make sure that the slot is in the middle and will drill guide holes. The slot punch is now going to follow the holes and the slot is going to be perfectly centered. The flip side is that I will have less material to work with, but in this case that should work out just fine. That at least was my hope. The file allows me to clean up the holes from the drill, and then it's time to create the transition from the blade to the tongue in the guard. I made a special punch for this that roughly follows the shape of the sword blade. The challenge here is to keep everything perfectly aligned. In the video you can see me make multiple corrections until I'm happy with the shape. The final step is to bend the guard into a semicircle with a slot for the tang at its base. Unfortunately, even though I spent a fair bit of time on this and tried to be careful, I was not diligent enough. I am not happy with the shape and don't have enough material left to correct it. The lower guard will have to be done over again. Fortunately, the other pieces did not give me as much trouble. Let's take a look at how I created the pommel. I am using a lathe, and here you see me squaring off the end of the pommel. The inner circle will have a diameter of 3/4 of an inch or about 19 millimeters. I am slowly creating a concave transition from the raised button to the center of the pommel. The one step that I did not capture on video involved drilling a pilot hole through the middle of the disc and then drifting it via rectangular drift with the goal of making one side of the drilled hole larger. The challenge with creating the concave surface is to back off on the X and Y axis proportionally. Here you can see the pommel with one of the sides finished. Now it's time to finish the other side, which I'm showing here at high speed. The final step to finishing the pommel on the lathe is to take a file and smooth out the marks left by the cutter. I wrap a polishing cloth around the file to achieve an even finer finish. All of this takes a long time, but the end result looks quite nice. It's time to go back to the sword blade. The weight after heat treating is about 1 kilogram, but I plan on removing at least 300 more grams before reaching the final weight. Now is the time to really pay attention to the grinder lines, and I have switched to much finer belts. Again, this is an iterative process in which I will grind the fuller and the cutting edges until I'm happy with the shape. While I mentioned the weight and the overall taper of the blade, I have not talked about distal taper. Distal taper is a progressive reduction in thickness towards the tip of the sword. During the forging process, I already created some distal taper, and what you cannot see on the video is me occasionally checking the thickness with dial calipers. Another way of assessing the blade is by bending it. Places in which there is no smooth bend are indicative of too much blade thickness. This may be similar to tillering a crossbow prod. Alright, I have done a lot of grinding and declare success. I did not quite remove another 300 grams, but this is reasonably close to what I was aiming for. Now I'm using a Scotch-Brite belt to create a satin finish in the fuller. The same belt can also be used to start polishing the cutting edge, although I will polish it by hand too. The goal is to remove the vertical grinder marks from the previous grinding phases. Even though I already used finer belts, grinder marks can still be seen. As you can imagine, all of this takes a long time. Over the course of finishing this sword, I spent around 100 hours of manual labor. The final polish is done with 600 grit sandpaper. I'm using a piece of steel for guidance underneath. Although the sword is not pattern welded, I place it in ferric chloride to reveal potential artifacts from differential hardening. Mother's metal polish helps me with removing the oxides and reveals the final look of the sword blade. Overall, I'm quite happy with the visual appearance. The only part still missing is the gold overlay for the ChronoBlade logo. Alright, now that I've bored you with polishing the sword blade, let's finish forging the upper guard. The principle is similar to creating the lower guard, only that the slot for the tang is much simpler to create. The first hole functions as a pilot, and the second hole I'm drilling here is larger and functions mostly as a time-saving trick. Not having learned the lesson from my first failure, I'm using the swage block to bend the upper guard. This works okay here, but is not really the best way of achieving a perfect circle segment. At this point, we have an almost finished sword blade, upper guard and pommel. In the next episode, I will redo the lower guard and show how to fit and finish all of the pieces. I hope you have enjoyed the series so far. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you feel like it, check out some of my other videos and see you next time.